Today I just have a quick little sewing DIY video for you. It's not really a tutorial, but it could be because it's going to be very, very simple. On the one hand, I have a t-shirt. On the other hand, I have some matching lace, and we are going to transform these two things into a Lolita Cutsew. A quick definition for anyone watching who is not in the Lolita fashion community: a cutsew is basically a Lolita t-shirt. It's something that has been cut and sewn, like how t-shirts effectively are constructed. So it's a stretch knit garment, generally a lot more casual than a blouse, that is worn with Lolita. This is going to be the plainest cutsew I have ever owned, but that's fine, given that currently in my capsule wardrobe I have 0 and very few blouses. This is going to be a great addition, simple as it is. So first thing I'm going to do here is gather some of this lace. I actually don't know how much I have. It came from an op shop, as did the top, so we'll just run a straight stitch along the top and we'll see how we go. Just going to do a bit more. Oh, actually I'm almost at the end of the lace. I might just finish putting this through all of the lace, because then I can chop it into segments. Okay. So as I start gathering this lace up a bit more, which I'm pulling on the wrong thread there, as I gather this up a bit more, I've got to have a bit of a think about whether I'm going to put it on the top of the neckline ribbon or underneath. I'm kinda leaning towards underneath because I think that'll just be a bit more neat looking, but realistically it could go either way. Oh my goodness, this is going to be a pain in the butt to gather. Why did I think this was going to be easy? I always think sewing's going to be easy. Oh, and look, I should stop complaining. This is easy. It's very straightforward. It's very simple. It's just going to take a while. And that's... Look, honestly, if anyone is watching this who wants to start sewing and hasn't, for whatever reason, know that sewing is, by and large, pretty easy. Like, the actual process of using a sewing machine is incredibly straightforward. Most of what sewing is just patience. And because you are going to make mistakes, you are going to have to take things apart and redo them. But the actual process itself is kinda not that bad. I mean, so says me, who is gathering and complaining about it, but, you know, it's not that I'm doing something hard, it's just that I'm doing something tedious, and I don't like doing things that are tedious. Which is one of the many reasons why I'm a bad sewer, is because I am impatient and, you know, rush things. Right, let me gather that a little more, and I'm going to chop it off, and then I'll neaten it up. Which brings me to the other reason, potentially, of why I said this is not a tutorial, is I don't know what I'm doing. This is probably a terrible way to do this, but it's what I'm doing, and it's going to work for me. What we're doing now is gathering this evenly, just neatening all that out, and then I will be pinning it to the neckline, from which point we can then sew it down, and then we can see how it looks and hope it doesn't look bad, and if it does look bad I will cry, and that'll make for absolutely riveting content for you all. As you can see, I've done a lot of work off camera. That is because first my camera card filled, then my camera overheated, and so I just decided, you know what, let's just do this, because it's not the most interesting video anyway, let's just do this and then come back to it. So as you can see, I have attached the lace to the neckline. It's a little bit messy. I had to redo this section here because I initially did it too far, like, away from the ribbing, and it just didn't look good, but yeah, it's okay. And I've done the same on the, whatever these things are called, sleeve hems, and they look a lot better than the neckline, but like, it's all good enough, and especially like, you know, see it from a distance, totally fine, and well, that's what it's gonna be anyway. So, I have one more thing that I'm gonna do, which is an idea I got from a YouTuber I follow, which I will link in the description, which is to sew a ribbon sort of artistically across the chest. So I'm going to keep it red on red so it's fairly subtle, and also because I don't have much ribbon. Again, this was from a thrift shop, so everything, like, I don't think there's even $5 of materials in this, so I'm really happy. So yeah, next step for me is to pin this bow in place. I have already finished off the ends with a match, so yeah, pin that in place, sew it down, and then we'll be done. So I have pinned the middle of the bow in approximately the middle of the shirt where I want it. I didn't measure, I don't measure, we've discussed this. So I'm just gonna deliberately have it like a bit askew so it doesn't look accidentally askew. But let's figure this out. I don't know, give it to me straight, Doc. Is it crap? Because I kind of think it's crap. Here's the problem. I just don't know if this is how it's meant to be. I think the tails definitely shouldn't be. I need to make the tails a bit more symmetrical. My idea of being deliberately asymmetric, I either need to be more asymmetric or give up on that idea, but I don't know whether that looks good. I really don't, and I'm not a huge fan of how the middle of the bow looks and the loops, so... Look, I might take it off and try again, and I probably won't film that, just to, you know, stop my camera from maybe overheating again. But, alright, I'm gonna give it another go, and then I'll give you guys an update. Little update, here is version 2 of the pinned down bow, which looks a lot better. Technically it's kind of version 2.5 because I pinned it, I tried it on, realized I didn't quite like how it was, so redid a few bits of it. But as you can see, because I've done a bit more rejigging around here, the bow top bits, the bow loops are a lot nicer, and the tails are just less asymmetrical. Still asymmetrical because, again, I want it to, you know, not look like it's meant to match, because I know there's no way I'm going to make it match. I'm also not caring too much about this because I'm aware that it is going to shift around as I'm actively sewing it, so we'll see how it looks, but I think I am brave enough to give it a shot. So I'm a smart person and I thought I'd pressed film, but I hadn't, so I started filming this. I mean, I started sewing this without filming it, and I'm terrified that it's going okay for the, you know, like, inch of it I've sewed down so far. Let's see how the rest goes. And what I didn't do, because I wasn't filming, is the first few stitches in the center of the bow I did with the flywheel, with just the flywheel, just to sort of have a bit more control there. Doing that with all these corners as well. Oh yeah, that's I don't know. I'm not going to say anything positive until it's done. Alright, look, it's going okay, but this is very fiddly. I'm going to turn the camera off and I'll turn it back on when I'm done. So I've taken a little pause after sewing the bow portion on. As you can see, this is a little janky, but not too awful, and it'll probably look better worn. I am going to try it on. But because part of me had the idea of, would it look good to just let these dangle? So it has a bit of three-dimensionality to it, or is that going to look too much like I have strings hanging off my tits, which, So I'm going to unpin those, try it on, and just see how we're going. Okay, like, I don't have a good mirror position, and, you know, this is not very flattering, but I actually really love it with the ends of the ribbon hanging down. I really do. I think it's really cute, especially with how this one has been sewn sort of under a little bit, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. So I think I'm gonna just shorten this end so it matches. Maybe shorten them both so they're to about here sort of length, and then I will show you the whole thing in the reveal. Ta-da! I think it turned out really, really cute. I love the leaving the ends of the bow loose. I think that's really nice. And even though, like I said, it's a bit wonky, but I do love the bow detail and how subtle it is. And same with the lace, which as you can see on the cuffs and around the collar, it's enough to add interest, but it's not all that much, you know, it's really quite simple and straightforward, which if you know me, that's kind of how I like my Lolita style in general. I have a pretty simple style. So I think it's really cute and I'm really happy with it. Something I didn't talk about is the fact that I left the bottom hem completely plain. So I did this because realistically I have about that much, like, I don't know, 2 inches of fabric below my waist, below my natural waist of this shirt, which wasn't really enough for me to like cut it off and make a ruffle. I didn't have any of this lace left and I didn't have any other options for sort of Lolita-fying the bottom hem, so I decided to make my life easier and just not do anything about it. And ultimately, I think that's fine. I mean, for under JSKs, you're not going to see that anyway. For wearing with skirts, well, I can either tuck it in or I can just have a plain hem. Big whoop. This is a very, very casual shirt anyway, so I'm okay with it having a completely plain hem. Overall, I'm just really happy with this. It's a great addition to my capsule wardrobe. It was cheap, it was easy, and ultimately I think it really probably only took me an hour. I didn't keep an exact track of time, but it was a very, very quick upcycle. And speaking of my capsule, I didn't want to end this video without actually coordinating this cutsew, so one moment. Isn't it cute? I am just so chuffed with this, especially when being worn as part of a coordinate. It's exactly what I wanted and it was so easy to do. I'm really happy that I did this. And I really hope that, like I said, not a tutorial, but I really hope that seeing me do this, if you've ever been on the fence about DIYing some of your own Lolita stuff, look, if I can do it with all the faffing about and chaos and not being good at stuff that you saw, you can certainly do it too. I have a heap of other Lolita upcycling, sewing, DIY projects in the works or planned in the works, and finishing this top has actually made me feel really confident in my ability to actually get stuff done, so hopefully I'll be sharing some more of that soon. But in the meantime, I'm just gonna go and stare at myself in the mirror for a while because I am really excited with how this turned out. I hope you enjoyed the video, and until next time, bye bye!